Well, hello, friends. Welcome to One-on-One Coaching Episode 1, the origin or the welcome. Since this is episode 1 of the journey, what I'm planning on doing here is just simply tell you a little bit of the story of how I came to this point, and I'm also planning on kind of documenting my journey through this process of creating a life worthy of me, creating a life that reflects my passion, my purpose, and transitioning from this concept of success to significance. So the whole goal here is to simply share my story. Hopefully, it helps you. I have no idea where this is gonna go. I just feel this need to process my thinking, process my thoughts, document things maybe for posterity. Maybe my children will watch it. But either way, welcome. This is the one-on-one coaching, and I'm calling it one-on-one coaching because I always think about the individual. And I believe that we not only have the right to control our life, we deserve to create it. So that's why I talk about this concept of creating a life worthy of you or worthy of me in this situation. And this all starts back in 2012. In 2012, I had pretty good success. I had just been managing a team of 5 people, responsible for millions of dollars in underwriting, or probably a billion or so in revenue. And I just got to this point where things just fell through. Everything went downhill very quickly. I felt this need to go through a midlife crisis in a sense. I was essentially at that point. I was burnt out. I was mentally stressed. I was really just out of it, and it got to the point where I got kicked out of my current employment, technically demoted, or pretty much pushed out because my manager at that time just sat me down in an office and said, "You have 3 months to find something else, otherwise you're out of this company." In my mind, I processed that as I'm fired and I'm just gonna have to do something about it. So back in 2012, that I pretty much went through this crisis of what the hell went wrong, what happened, what did I do to get to this point. I had success, but at this specific moment in life, I was really doubting everything I had accomplished. I was doubting all my talents, my potential, and everything else. And I really had to sit down, go through this pain process, and process the experience in a way to figure out why was I there? Why this Lord? Why this God? And all these other things, blaming other people, blaming myself. Most of the times I was just self-judging me. But as I was going through this process, it came to me. 3 specific instances came to me that were kind of like turning points in my life. The first one, it was a memory. I was 11 years old. My dad's actually walking me towards center field baseball, and that would turn out to be my first time playing baseball ever. And the only reason I was there is because my dad wanted me to play sport. He didn't care which sport it was. I had tried basketball before. I've done martial arts. I've done some other things, but that day it was baseball. He just wanted me to be active, and I actually turned out to be good at it. I had talent. That same year, I ended up representing my country in the Latin American Little League series, or baseball series, or tournament. And from then on, I played baseball almost daily for the next 8, 9 years. So that was kind of like the first memory that came to mind. The next one that came to mind was right in senior year of high school. My mom and I were driving down one of the downtown areas in Panama, and we're just going back home. And as I'm people watching, as we get to the stoplight, and my mom pretty much turns to me and says, "Hey, what are you planning to do for college? Where are you going to study?" And I pretty much just came out of my daydreaming. I look at her, I shrug, and I simply say, "I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one of the engineerings," whichever it was. So a few seconds, maybe a minute or so later, she then says, well, I talked to a couple friends of mine. Why don't you just try to study actuarial science? If you don't know what actuarial science is, you can just go Google it and you'll figure out that actuarial science or actuaries are one of the top 10 most better paid professions in the world. Um, but back then, I didn't think much of it. It sounded weird, it sounded different, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted to be different. I wanted to do something that nobody else did, and in Panama, that wasn't a career I ever heard of. So she I pretty much just turned around to her and said, "Oh, sure." I shrugged again, said, "Sure, let's just do it," and that was it. So I went to college and I did that, which then brought me to this other memory, which was right after college. I mean, usually most people will tell you, you just go find a decent job and succeed at it. And I technically did. So once I landed my first job, I started just scoring points, is one way to see it. I did what people told me to do. I met expectations. I surpassed them. I tried hard. I got in early, work out late. I did overnighters and all these kind of things. And slowly but surely, I kept getting promoted. I kept going up the ladder, as some people would say it. And soon enough, I was managing people. I was handling a lot of money. I was responsible for plenty of money and many other things. And once I finished thinking about these memories, there's three memories. My dad playing baseball, my mom telling me to go study this profession that most people don't even know what it is, and then going to work and succeeding by scoring the way companies give score, do the things that you're told, do a little bit more than that, and then people would just recognize you and promote you. I realized that by the time I was there, depressed, I got fired from that job, those three memories helped me recognize that the reason I succeeded was really following somebody else's dream or somebody else's expectation or doing what society expected me to do. So at that point, when I really realized that, like the connection, like the reason I'm there, I've saved some money, I have good success in life, still was related to things other people wanted me to do. And while life was good, at the same time, it wasn't necessarily my life. So at that point, I simply decided if I'm ever going to fail again, I am going to do it on my own terms. I'm going to do it doing what I want to do, doing what I think is the right thing for me to do, and see where it goes. So that was 2012. And over time, I started this journey of discovering, well, what do I really want? What do I really love? What do I value? Who do I want to work with? What type of things do I want to do? And in the process, I found I liked the development of people, the idea of living intentionally, of creating a life that really feels in harmony with who I am. And that's where this concept of I'd rather create a life worthy of me started developing. And 5 years later, I find myself leading a leadership summit open to everybody. Hundreds of people show up. I was leading a weekly study group. I had coached several people. I've helped people find getting promotions, find the jobs that they wanted, and many other things that I didn't think were possible before. I even travel internationally and to train people on how to create a culture based on values and other things related to leadership development. So I went from being almost fired, or in my mind, I was fired in 2012, and in 2000, at the end of 2017, I find myself succeeding with a new tribe of people, with new followers, leading and doing success, but success in my own way. And funny enough, a few months later in 2018, the same team and the same company fires me again. And this time I'm happy about it. I'm no longer depressed. I'm actually grateful for the fact that I'm now free to go do what it is that I want to do. And this is where the concept of one-on-one coaching starts. And this is the episode number 1 for this journey that I have no idea where it's going to go. I have no idea where it's going to end. I simply know that I believe you and I deserve to create a life worthy of us. That doesn't mean that you have to quit what you're doing right now. It doesn't mean that you have to go leave your family or remove all your friends from your life and go start from scratch one more time. But it does mean that you have the power to create something that really feels like you. You have the power to find people that will support you and will help you evolve and develop to the one that you're supposed to be. So that's episode 1. We'll see what I come up with. Episode 2, maybe I'll talk about the 5 steps I came up to create to go from being depressed to happy and getting fired the second time and being happy about it. Again, I discovered these 5 steps as I went along, 5 steps to create a life worthy of you. So thank you for listening, watching, or reading. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye.